That means I got 30 minutes to get through this. Let's go ahead and get going. Again, this is going fast. You guys have already had the entire period. So you've had almost an hour to do this, and I'm going to do it in half of that. At the neighborhood 4th of July party, they planted some banana pudding. She makes 2 batches for every 9 people attending. If 72 people will attend the 4th of July party, how many batches should she make? This is a simple proportion. If you will put your units along with it, it should make this very easy to set up, because I know it's batches and people, and the other number they gave me was 72 people, so that's going to go here, so I don't know the batches. Is it easy to go to 9 to 72?
Yes.
Yes, so I'm just going to do that. You don't even have to baseball this. Just multiplying them both by 8, that's going to give me 16. So she needs 16 batches. Quick side note. When do we need to write a full sentence answer?
When the question.
How do I know it's a word problem?
Because it has a story.
I see a question mark at the end of it. That means there's a word problem because it's giving me a sentence with a question, meaning I need to write a response. What if there was a period?
Then no.
Then no. Would I be counted wrong if I didn't write a whole sentence?
No. Well,
No.
well, yeah, with the
Would I be counted wrong if I did write a whole sentence?
No.
No. It was a word problem with a question mark, and I don't write a full sentence. Do I get full credit?
No.
No, but if I do write a sentence and I have the right answer, do I get full credit?
Yes.
So, is it better to always write the full sentence or better to take a chance?
To write the full sentence.
Oh, wait.
Ruby, you go ahead and take your chance. The rest of you, I would say you're better just write the full sentence. If there's any doubt, write a full sentence. There are multiple problems that don't require a sentence. But if it's a word problem, you need to answer fully. For example, number 2, find the missing value. Is there a question mark?
No.
No. So do I have to write a full sentence on this? No. But if I said the missing value is, would I get it wrong?
No.
No. So it's your choice, but this is one that doesn't require. So I know I'm just doing baseball on this. So 7 times 28 8/10 divided by 8. I'm going to go to reductions. I can see a 4 that comes out of this.
I just want 2, like 5.
You can go by 2s. I'll go by 2s to make it easier for everybody. So going by 2, that makes that a 4. Makes this 14 4/10. I know I can go 2 again. Go to 2 and 7 2/10. I can go to 2 again. Gives me a 1 and 3 6/10. So now I'm just doing 3 6/10 times 7. So I have 1 decimal, 42, 21, 25. 1 decimal place, so my answer is 25 2/10.
Oh, I missed one step.
I'm sorry?
I missed one step on this. I did what I did.
Okay, you see where your step you missed. Okay, I would make yourself a note on that and put that on your reference sheet. Big one, guys, as you're going through this, you're seeing things that you've missed. Those are things that should go on your reference sheet for the test on Friday. Okay, a gear rotates 8 times every 15 seconds. Based on this information, put a check mark next to any true statements below. So the gear rotates 48 times in 90 seconds. 8 to 48 is times 6. 15 times 6 gives me 90. That one is actually good. 8 to 16 is times 2. 15 times 2 is 30. That one's good. 32, 8 times 4 gives me 32. 15 times 4 gives me 60 seconds, which is 1 minute. So that is actually correct, even though it didn't say 60. 8 times 3 is 24. 15 times 3 is 45. That one is not correct. So it didn't say to put an X through it, but that's how I would do it, just to make sure you saw it. As long as you didn't mark anything on it, you'd be okay. If you circled them instead of putting a check mark, I would take that, but please read your directions. Michaela spent $234 preparing for a party with 18 guests. Each guest costs the same amount of money. How many guests could attend a party that costs $104? So I know it's 18 guests and $104. No, I don't. $234 equals $104, but I don't know how many guests. So that is my variable. Here's my baseball. So I got 18 and 104 divided by 234. I'm going to do the workout here. just so everybody can see it, over 234. So I can see reductions. I got 2's obviously right away. So I'm going to divide by 2, gives me 117. And doesn't really matter, we'll go with that one. Will 9 go into 117? Actually, it will.
It will, yeah.
So I can divide those both by 9. Gives me 13. And then 13 into 104.
No.
Yeah. 104 divided by 13.
Is 8? Yeah, 8.
Yeah. So I can actually divide that, go 1 and 8. So 1 times 8 gives me 8. If you didn't see it, just do the 104 divided by 13, and you're going to say, won't go into 1, won't go into 10, and then you can just use your number sets, 3 and 4. 3 to get to 4 I know is going to be times 8. So check that, you do that times 8, you get 24, 104 minus 104, and you confirm, yes indeed it was 8.
Yeah.
So whichever way you did it is fine.
I did it.
So she can have 8 yes.
Wow,
It is easy if you'll just set it up right. The whole key on these, the biggest key on all of these is setting them up properly. Just to give you a hint, I haven't done the grading key yet, but I can guarantee you, having worked with Mr. Vandermain for a full quarter now, there will be a point for your work on this and a point for the answer. Yes?
I did my work, and I got the same answer, but I didn't do the same exact way how you worked it out.
That's fine. I mean, again, as long as you've got the proportion set up, you're okay.
Okay.
Now, if you went straight to multiplying, that's fine. If you did a different type of reduction, that's fine. The big key on reductions, and I'm seeing it every once in a while, I catch a student that does this, you do 2 on top. You cannot reduce 2 on top. It always has to be 1 on top and 1 on bottom, because when I'm dividing them by the same thing, it's basically, I'm making it a factor of 1. Because I'm doing 2 over 2, right? Same as multiplying by 1. If I do 2 and 2 on top, now I've multiplied it by 4. Now I've changed that proportion. As long as I do the same thing top and bottom, it's keeping it equal. Okay, a dolphin jumps 54 times in a 6-hour period. At this rate, how many jumps would be expected in a 2-hour period? So there's my question. So I know it's 54 times in 6 hours. And I want to know times hours, and the other one was a 2. How do I go from 6 to 2?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. So what am I going to do to 54?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3, which gives me
18.
18. He will jump 18 times.
Are you assuming the dollars?
Okay, a package of 12 cans of black beans costs $6.84. What is the cost of 1 can? So I know 12, and I'm going to do this different because normally we do dollars per can. So I'm going to say $6.84 and 12 cans equals dollars in cans. The other thing they gave me, I want to know 1 can. So how do I go from 12 to 1? Divide by 12. So what am I going to do to 684? Divide by 12. So I need to do that math. 684 divided by 12. Won't go into 6. Bring my decimal up. It's going to go at 68 5 times.
5,700.
Subtract 6 gives me 8. Bring down the 4. Goes into 84 7 times. 84 gives me a 0. So it is 57. So 1 can costs 57 cents. Make sure you use the dollar sign with the decimal, or you could have technically written 57 with a cent sign, but try to keep it in dollar format. It's going to make it easier for you. Yes, ma'am?
I just did dividing. I just did 12 divided. Well, it's $6.84 divided by 12. Is that
Oh.
okay?
That's what
That's
I
what
did
we-
too.
Wow, that's actually what I did.
I
12.
know, but you wrote it out like in fraction. I didn't do anything.
That's what I
You
did.
should always set up your proportion. Because if you started at this, does that show me that you understand the relationship?
No. It just shows you that
No.
you understand division.
Show me the relationship. Show me that you understand what you're doing. Okay?
It's 57 cents.
57 cents per can, yes. Okay, use the model to below to determine the fraction, decimal, and percent that the shaded portion represents. So you had to count it up. Hopefully yours was okay. I haven't looked at it, but that was 15. And they told me it's out of 100. When do we simplify? Always. So I'm going to divide them by 5. gives me 3 and 20. If you've written the fraction and showed me where you started, right, David? So that should make it really easy to do the decimal, because that's 15 hundredths. So I can now write that as 15 hundredths. Once I have the decimal, it's very easy to write as a percent. Just make sure you include the percent sign when you're writing the percent. Emmy's asked to find 15% of the number 60. Emmy knows that 10% is 6. How can Emmy use that information to find 15% of 60? So, I would say, well, 10% is 6. If I want 15%, that means I need another 5%, which would be half of that. So half of 6 is 3. So if I add those up, 15% would give me 9. Did I just answer that problem?
Wait, how did you do that?
No, you use words because there's a
Divide the
question mark.
10%
Wait, what did we divide by?
We didn't divide anything.
What's the relationship between 10% and 5%?
They're
What's the relationship between 10% and 5%? Half of it. So I take half of the 6, I get
3.
3. I'm doing the same thing to both sides. Half of 10 is 5, half of 6 is 3.
So I didn't get 5 and
So in order to get.
This is one,
That's half.
technically, is there a question mark here?
Yes.
That's half of 6.
Yes.
You just colored over it with your circle.
Well, technically, it's up. No.
Is that
How can she? Yes.
So then you have to
So-
do 5% of 3?
Honestly, for this kind of a problem, I would probably take that as an explanation. But you're safer saying if 10% is 6, then 5% is half of that, or 3. Put 10% plus 5% to get 15%. So 6 plus 9, 6 plus 3 equals 9. So something to that effect. But yes, writing it out would definitely be your safer bet on that. Okay, I can solve percent problems. 15 is 30% of what number? So now we're into that percent proportion. Definitely something that should be on your reference sheet is this. This should actually be like the first thing on your reference sheet. Oh, sorry. That should be is and of, not part. Remember that 15, the top is your part, the bottom is your whole. And a lot of these word problems they're not going to give is and of. You're going to have to look at the part and the whole. So in this case, I know my percent is 30 of what, so I don't know it. The last number left is 15. Can I go 30 to 15?
Yes.
Yes.
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. So I'm going to do the 100.
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2, and I get 50. So x equals 50. Okay?
Excuse me, Mr. Ross?
Yes?
For the formula, is that a WO or is that 100%?
Oh, that's just
That's
extra
100.
Oh,
Just to do the weird
This is
slide.
always a 100.
okay.
Percent is always out of 100. That's the definition of it. Asher?
Could you go to the previous page real quick?
No.
I
You'll have to go to the video, sorry.
Oh,
Okay, recipe for lemonade. Punch calls for 6 cups of lemonade for every 24 cups of punch. Circle the name of the student who wrote the equation that can be used to find x, the percent of lemonade in the recipe. So personally, I would just start with the word problem and work it out myself, and then see which one matched it. So I know percent is what I'm looking for, so I'm looking for x over 100. I know the part was 6, and I know that the whole was 24. Once I have that, I can see Elizabeth was the one who wrote that. So she would have been the correct one. Okay? The other one, what they did, he added the 6 and 24, but the 24 was the punch, right?
Yes.
So that was the whole. There was no reason to add those two together. This one, Owen just reversed them. Diana kind of did the same thing. She did the 6 over, she added the 6 and 24, but it was 24 things of punch. So you didn't need to add those two together in this case. Of the 650 students, 80% will attend the field trip. How many students will attend? And that's a key point. Make sure you're reading that question carefully, that those numbers have matched up. So I know 80% will attend, so it's 80%, and I know it's the students on both. The key is that 650, does that go on the top or the bottom?
Bottom.
Bottom, because that's the whole. So I don't know how many are going to go on the trip. So now we're set up, we can play some baseball. So 80 times 650 over 100. I've got an easy 10 there, an easy 10 there. So I'm just doing 65 times 8. Gives me 40. 48 and 4 is 52. So 520 students will attend the field trip.
So we multiplied 65 times 8.
I did, yes.
No, 650.
Wait,
Oh, yeah, he just got rid of the zeros.
Oh, yeah.
I got rid of the zeros because I divided by 100. If you don't do reductions, then yes, you do 80 times 650 and then you'll divide by 100.
Which is math.
I highly recommend keeping your math as simple as possible, less chance of errors.
520.
All items in the factory are checked for defects. Of the 300 items checked, 3% were found to be defective. How many items checked worked correctly? Ooh, so here's one where you got to read carefully to make sure you're answering the question that is asked. So I know it's 3%, so 3 over 100. The 300 is my part or my whole?
The whole.
The whole. So I don't know the top. How do I go from 100 to 300?
Multiply by 3.
Times 3. So on the top I'm going to do times 3, which gives me 9. But what is that 9?
The defective one.
Effective. What are they asking me for?
The effective.
The ones that work.
So you can just subtract 9.
So I can just subtract it. My other option, I could have done 97
Yeah.
over 100.
But
That would have been fine, because that would have led right to the problem, to the answer. 97 times 3. But for me, it was easier this way, because I know 291 parts worked correctly. And if you ever wonder what your answer should look like, look at the question. Okay? Question basically tells you how to write your answer. Next one, the bags of snacks contain 20 individual packs. The newly designed contains 28. By what percentage did the individuals increase? So now I'm looking for a percent increase. Make sure you have this formula written on your reference sheet. So percent formula says my percent over 100 is the difference. What's the difference between 28 and 20? 8 over the original. What was my original number?
20.
20. And that's really the biggest key on this. You have to put the correct numbers in. You have to identify the original. So now we're set up for some baseball. 8 times 100 over 20. So that's going to go 5 times. 8 times 5 gives me 40. So the package increased by 40%.
Wait, what?
Okay, our next one. There's a handling fee of $35 for any form orders over 250. The order total is $437.50. What percent is the shipping and handling fee? So I know I'm finding a percent, X over 100, but what I'm comparing is that shipping fee, $35, to my total cost, $437.50, which I know that fee occurs because that is over $250. So now that I have it set up, now we're ready for some baseball. So 100 times 35 divided by 437.50. Unfortunately, let's try to do that again. Over $437.50. Don't see any really easy reductions on this one. I could probably do a 5 pretty easily. So I'm going to take a 5 and make that a 7. 5 is going to go 87.50.
Maybe.
Double check that. Divide by 5 is going to go 8, 40, 37 is 7, 35, 25. Yeah, so I was right. Okay? So I can divide those both by 5. It's going to make the math a little easier. Because now I'm just taking 700 and dividing by 8750. Meaning I moved decimal twice, moved my decimal twice. So,
Couldn't you just do that once though?
technically you could, but because it's the money, I'm going to do it this way. So it really doesn't change your math any. Won't go into 770, 700, 7,000. So now we're all the way down to the end. What's this is going to go? 8 into 70, that's going to be probably an 8, 64. Let's try 8 first. So 8750 times 8, 0, 40, 56, 60, 64, 70. Oh, it did work out exactly. So, apologies to A3 class. I don't know what I did that last period, but that's your correct answer.
What did you get last week?
11.1 repeating for some
I'm not
reason.
seeing it if they watch the video.
Well, if they don't, then that's their loss.
Oh.
Okay, so my answer is the shipping and handling was 8% of the cost. And actually, if they don't watch, then they're really hurting themselves because I did not get through the whole thing with them. So they missed the whole last page. At the beginning of the school year, they had 480. At the end of it, had 504. What is the percent change of enrollment? Percent change should automatically ring bells, guys. That means I'm looking for my percent change. X over 100 equals my change, which was 24, over my original. What was my original?
What is the number? 480.
The 480. You have to get the correct original or you'll get the wrong answer. So 24 times 100 over 480. So this one becomes easy because that 0 goes away. That actually 24 goes into 48 twice. Meaning I just do 2. So 2 and 5 gives me a 1. 1 times 5 means the enrollment increased by 5%.
Wait, what the heck did you do?
Magic.
Huh?
Magic.
What?
I did magic.
Magic.
Okay, sweater is marked 30% off during an end of season sale. The sweater was originally $56. What is the sale price?
Okay.
Okay, so you have two ways you're going to approach this one. Sale price means that's what I'm actually paying, right?
Yeah.
So if it's 30% off, what percent am I paying?
70%.
70%. So I'm going to set it up that way because it's asking for the sale price. My original was 56. I'm asking what is it now on sale? What am I going to pay? If you did the 30%, that's fine. But when you find the 30%, that's how much you saved. You need to subtract it from the original amount. This is going to just lead me straight to the answer. That's why I like doing it this way. But a big piece of that is understanding the question. So I have 770 times 56 divided by 100. I can get rid of 110 easy. And then because I'm dividing by 10, I'm just going to make that 7/10. Divide that by 10. So I'm just doing 56 times 7/10.
Wait, what?
So it gives me 42, 35, 39. So because it's money, I'm going to have to add an additional place. So the cost is now $39.20. Okay?
Oh,
Some trays of Danishes are ordered for breakfast. About 35% are cream filled. There are 4 trays with 18 Danishes on each tray. Approximately how many Danishes contain cream filling? So first thing you need to do is figure out how many you've got. So I have 18 times 4 gives me 32, 72. So I'm actually finding 35% of the 72 Danishes. Can I go 100 to 72 easily?
No.
Nope, so we're going to set up some baseball. 35 times 72 divided by 100. First one I'm going to do is take out a 5, make that a 20 and a 7. Then I'm going to take out a 2, make that a 10 and a 36. And then I'm just going to divide that by 10 to make it easy. So make that 7/10. So now I'm doing 36 times 7/10. I have one decimal. It gives me 42, 21, 25. It says about, so that means I'm making an estimate off of 25 and 2/10. So how many should I say?
About.
There will be about 25.
But isn't the percent also an estimate?
Yeah, they were both estimates with cream filling.
Wait, what? If it's 25.2, what's the estimate?
25. I would round down.
Because less than.
Okay, on Monday, Jeff bought a t-shirt for 40% off the regular price of $16, not including tax. The next day, the t-shirt that Jeff bought was marked down to 75% off its regular price. How much would Jeff have saved, not including tax, if he had waited until Tuesday to buy the t-shirt? So there's a lot of different ways to set this problem up. I would probably go with how much I actually paid for it, because that's going to tell me how much I did. You could also do how much you saved each day, which would give you kind of the same effect. But if I paid 40%, or saved 40%, that means I saved 60% on the first day, and it was a $16 shirt. Is it easy to go 100 to 16?
No.
No, so I'm going to go ahead and play some baseball. So 60 times 16 divided by 100. 10 goes away easily. We can do a 2 gives it a 5 and a 3. So 16 times 3 is going to give me 48 divided by 5. That's going to go 9 times. Subtract 45 gives me a 3. So bring down the decimal. 30 is going to go 6 times. So he's going to pay $9.60 on Monday. On the second day, now he's got 75% off, so that means he's paying 25% of the price. We're still out of the $16. 100 still doesn't go to 16 easy, so I'm going to set up some baseball again. 25 times 16 divided by 100. The math on this works real nice, because I can go by 25 on those, and then I can go by 4. So how much is he paying the second day?
Boy, do it.
$4. So how much did he save?
He would have saved for. Would have.
Compare the two,
Oh,
subtract it, so he would have saved
too many. Why can't I do?
an additional $5.60. If you need to work that math out on hand, feel free, but it's just $9.60 minus 4. Okay, last page of your practice. Hospital bill is estimated to be $480. It ends up actually costing $524.50. What is the percent error in the bill rounded to the nearest tenth? So now we're talking about percent error. So I'm doing percent error, so x over 100 equals my change. So that's going to be a change of $44.50. Here's your biggest key. What is my actual? $524.50. If you do not identify the correct actual, you will not get the correct answer on these. So now we're going to set up some baseball. 100 times 44.50 being divided by 524.50. So technically I can just take the 100 and multiply this to make it 44.50. And I'm going to just go ahead and do that one. I think it'll be easier. So 44.50 divided by 524.50. So I need to go 2 more decimal places out to get rid of those. Will not go 0, 4, 5, 0. Still not there. So we're all the way down to our last one. It's going to be probably about an 8 would be my first guess. 5 and 44. So multiply by 8. 0, 40, 32, 36, 16, 19, 41. Yep, so that's close. Minus 4196, 0, 0. So it was an 8. 0, 0 gives me a 4, gives me a 5, gives me a 2. Bring down another 0 because it said to do it to the nearest 10th place. So 25, that's going to be 4 because it's going to be less than 5. 5's going to be too big. 54, 50 times 4. 0, 20, 18, 8, 9, 20. So 209, 800. Gives me 0, 0, 2. 13 gives me a 4. So 44, 2. So we're back to the 9. So I can now round to my nearest place. So it's going to be 3% error was about 8.5%. So I needed to round that 4 up to 5. Marco calculated he could run a 5K in 28 minutes. His actual time was 26 minutes. What is the percent error? Round to the nearest 10th. So same thing. The 5K is just a distractor. I'm looking at percent over a percent error. My difference was 2. What was my actual?
20.
26. Make sure you use the right number. So 2 times 100 divided by 26 gives me a 1 and a 13. So 100 divided by 13, 0, 0. That's going to go 8. No, 7. Times 7 gives me 21, 91. Gives me a 9, bring down a 0. 90 is going to go 6 times. 6 will be 13 times 6, 1878. Gives me a 12. 120 is going to go 9, so I'm going to round to the nearest 10th. I don't need to go any further. So it was about a 7.7% error. Okay, they invest $5,000 at a CD at an actual rate of 2%. What will their investment be worth at the end of 3 years? They've actually given me it. Investment be worth. That means I'm going to put it all together. So my interest is PRT. In this case, my principal is $5,000. My rate is 0.02. My time is 3 years. So you do this in any order. I would do 500 times 200s just because I can get rid of that. That's going to give me 100. So let me do it over here. 500 times 2. I got 2 decimals. 0, 0, 0, 10. 2 decimals is 100. So 100 times 3 means the interest is 300. My principal was 5,000. So the investment is worth $5,300. So I need to put it back in because the principal is still there. And the last one, they borrowed $2,000 to purchase their newly new furniture and 8% interest rate over 18 months. How much will they pay in interest? First thing I need to do is change that months to years. So I equals PRT. They know that my principal is $2,000. My rate is 0.08, and 18 months becomes 1 5/10. So I'm going to make the math easier. Go 8 times the 2,000 to start. 2 decimals gives me 1, 2, 3, 16. So that's 160. So 160 times 1 5/10. 2 decimals gives me 0, 30, 8, 0, 0, 6, 1, 0, 0, 4, 2, 2 decimals. She will pay $24 in interest. Okay, questions? We have 2 minutes left. Nope.
Math is math.
There's 2 decimal places. Yeah. So, oh no, it wasn't. It was 150. Thank you. Guys, the last one was 240. Thank you. Good catch. She's paying 240. I forgot a decimal place. I put 2, but there's only 1 decimal place there. Okay. You may want to watch the video. Some of the major things I would make sure is on your sheet. I would put not only the normal interest, but I would solve it for all of them. So I over RT. The rate is I over PT. The time is I over R PR.
Got that, Mr. Moore.
Okay? And your change formulas. 10 over 100 is enough. Okay, good luck, guys.